Before you use the bandsaw, make sure that you're wearing all the necessary PPE. This will be safety glasses, safety shoes and a buttoned-up protective smock or overalls. Long hair should be tied up. Festival bands and dangling jewellery should be removed, and all clothing tassels etc. tucked safely away. The bandsaws in the multi-material workshop are used to saw plastics, rigid foam, wood, composites and ProLab. The main controls for the bandsaw are located on the left-hand side of the machine. The top button is Start, the second button down is the Stop, and the red button below is an emergency stop. Towards the base of the machine is a foot-operated emergency stop. Emergency stops are only to be used in the event of an emergency. Use the upper two buttons for normal starting and stopping of the machine. Once you've identified the machine controls, the next step is to familiarise yourself with the blade guard. The blade guard is the yellow assembly that sits around the bandsaw blade. The guard is a very important safety feature that you set by yourself to suit each individual piece you wish to cut. To adjust the height of the guard, first undo the screwed lock nut. Be aware that there are two lock nuts in the same area. Make sure you use the lock nut nearest to the guard handle. With the lock nut released, you can wind the handle on the side to adjust the height. The blade guard should sit no more than 10 mm above the workpiece. This can be judged by eye. The gap must be less than the thickness of your finger. The guard is there to help stop you touching the moving blade. Once the guard is set to the correct height, lock it in place by retightening the screw at the back. The lock nut only needs to be hand tight, don't over tighten it. The aluminium guide block on the bandsaw bed is known as a fence. This is used as a guide along which to run the material to be sawn. To adjust the fence, undo the locking nut to the front and slide the fence to the required position. Once you're happy with the fence position, remember to retighten the locking nut. The fence does not have to be used, but it's ideal for straight line cuts. There are occasions when the fence will be a hindrance to freehand cutting. In these instances, make sure that it's as far out of the way as possible. If a narrow cut means that the fence prevents you from lowering the guard, then use a packing piece between the fence and the material to be cut. This will ensure that you can lower the guard sufficiently to use the bandsaw safely. Before cutting, lay the material flat on the bandsaw bed and work out where your fingers are going to be before beginning the cut. If your fingers are going to be too close to the blade, use the push sticks to help keep your fingers a safe distance from danger. Once you've addressed all the safety issues, you can begin to cut the material. Start the machine and wait a few seconds for the blade to reach its maximum speed. Then smoothly advance the material onto the blade. If there's a problem pushing the material smoothly onto the blade, or the material is not cutting cleanly, then stop the machine and speak to a technician to ensure the process is being performed correctly. Remember, the technical staff are always on hand to help you, so if you're in any doubt, always stop and ask before proceeding. Once the cut has been completed, switch off the machine. Wait for the blade to come to a standstill before attempting to remove any of the material from the bandsaw bed. Once all of your cutting operations have been completed, dispose of any scrap pieces in the bins provided and clean the machine down with a brush for the next user. So, the key points to remember when using the bandsaw are: only use the emergency stops for emergencies, make sure the guard is low enough to keep your fingers from the blade, use the fence for straight cuts, use the push sticks if necessary to keep your fingers from the blade.